What's up? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. It is your girl, Ms.B, with Straightforward with Ms.B. This is episode 64. And as we always do, grab your vices, relax, sit back, and let's get straight to it. I hope everyone has had a wonderful past 2 weeks. Shout out to those who have been tuning in to the podcast. I can say that I am beginning to see our numbers of viewerships grow, especially on YouTube and on streaming platforms as well. So I am very appreciative of those of you who continue to tune in with me, and just listen to my opinions on some of our favorite celebrities and hot topics, whether it's politics, whether it's mental health, true crime, music. I'm glad you guys are tuning in and appreciating what I have to bring to the table. And yeah, just stay along for the ride and watch me continue to grow. All right, so on today's episode, I kind of wanted to get into the whole topic of, I guess, deadbeats. And when you think of the word deadbeat, you normally tend to think of um, a male figure, like a father or someone who, may have kids in the world that they don't take care of, they don't check on them. But um, in this instance, I definitely want to say that this will apply to both men and women. I'm not going to single one group of people out because deadbeat can apply to both sexes. And what made me think about this particular topic was, of course, the saga, the continuation, the ongoing, the forever lasting, the everlasting situation that has been going on between Blueface and Chrisean Rock. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with those two individuals, Blueface is a rap artist hailing from the great state of California. I don't know what cities he's from, but I want to say Inglewood, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, Chrisean Rock is from Baltimore. She's a young lady who was a former athlete. I believe she has been on television before, like participating in one of those I forgot the name of those. Those game shows where it used to be like athletes and they would have to kind of compete against each other, different obstacles and things of that nature. She was on there before, but she's a young lady um who, like I said, I believe she might have been a star athlete growing up, and somehow she ended up linking up with Blueface. At one point, Blueface may have had one or two hits on, as far as like the music charts go. I know he had a song with DDG, who's another young artist as well. I believe their song was called Calabasas, and I believe that hit the charts. Um, in the midst of him trying to grow his musical career, um, at one point he had like I guess a kind of like a reality type of show, web-based reality show, where he kind of opened up his house and he had a house full of, young girls, women in there. I never watched it. I only maybe seen one or two clips, but I believe Chrisean may have been one of the females that was in this house. Apparently, there was something about Chrisean that Blueface may have been attracted to, or just really saw the potential in. And I'm assuming he stated that, he wanted to become maybe her manager, help her with music and whatever else, maybe get on some of these other reality shows and whatnot on Zeus Network or Love and Hip Hop or something like that. But he started managing her, and their relationship seemed to have gotten close from like a personal, personal boyfriend girlfriend type of level. But the only thing is, Blueface, although he's not married, he has been in a long term relationship with his original baby mother, Jade. I think her name is Jaden, and they dated since high school. So Jaden was always there. I believe they have a son together, and the situation with Krisha, I mean, excuse me, Chrisean, fucked up the girl name. The situation with Blueface and Chrisean, it's like they post so much on social media, whether it's, going at each other's necks on Twitter, which is now called X, whether they're on Instagram. It's like a shit show that's being played out right in front of us. Now, most recently, over the past 9 months, Chrisean Rock was impregnated by allegedly Blueface, and she recently, um, basically was on Instagram Live, and she had 300 plus thousand people watching her give birth to her son, Chrisean Jr. Now, when it comes to clout, Chrisean Rock definitely has gained, millions of followers. She has 300,000 plus people watching her give birth to her son. A lot of people in the industry and outside of the industry believe that there may be a bit of jealousy when it comes to Blueface and Chrisean, because she just basically surpassed him in the clout, on the clout scale. And he's like doing his best to hold on to what little bit of clout he has left, as far as like, being a celebrity and whatnot, and an artist. But Chrisean has basically gained a lot of followers. She has a lot of eyes on her. She's toxic, and Blueface is toxic as well. Now, the situation with the baby is like, for the longest, Blueface kept telling her, "Don't have this child, don't have this child." But she ended up keeping the baby anyway. Now Blueface is coming out, insinuating that the child may not be his, and that the child actually may be the son of Chrisean's ex-boyfriend. I forgot what his name is. But Blueface basically, honestly, just reading the tweets and things of that nature, it's like he really don't want to be. If the child hears, I guess he just want to be in the. He will just kind of like, fuck it, I'll be in the child's life. But I believe, in all honesty, he really doesn't. And I think that Chrisean as well, although she's happy to be a new mother, she's really not cut out for motherhood. You could tell she's just not that type of female that naturally has that mother instinct, because there was an incident that happened with her being in Target, and someone filmed her. It was Target or Walmart, and she was being filmed by someone, and it showed her. She had a dog in one hand, and then she had her baby in one of those little baby sacks that you can kind of put on, sort of like a backpack. She had one of those baby sacks, but the fact is she didn't have, the baby itself was kind of leaned back, like, when babies are that young, they supposed to have, you know, they're at that point they're trying to grow their posture, right? And so she should have always kept her hand behind the baby head so the baby head wouldn't just be falling backwards, because, the bones and stuff like that inside the baby has not fully developed yet. So we don't want the baby to, grow up with any deformities or things of that nature or ailments. So yeah, so everybody basically was chiming in on that video of her in the store, wondering like what the fuck is going on? Like why why she's not holding up the baby upright. The baby's just leaned back and over, and it was a mess. So there was a lot of people, critics, in the Instagram comments and things of that nature that, was putting in their 2 cents. And she got online and she was like, dang, the lady should have, instead of videotaping me, she should have just stopped and helped me, which I agree with her with that, because a lot of times everybody is so fucking nosy. We can see fights going on, we can see somebody getting shot, but everybody is so quick to pull out their phones to start recording it. But no one wants to, you know, take a second to even help out. You know, our society is just, we have literally lost our mind. Like, we could see somebody could be on the street and see an old lady get pushed down to the ground by some kids. We'll sit there and video record it before we even go and help the old lady. It's like, come on now. But she made a point there where, she was like, hey, everybody know I'm new to this. I really don't know what I'm doing. And the lady should have just stopped and came to help her instead of, you know, instead of just videotaping it. So I definitely understood where Chrisean was coming from with that. But playing devil's advocate, I can understand as well. The person who may have been recording it, of course, they probably want to get a little clout. They want their video to go viral. But at the same time, that person could be scared. I mean, Chrisean is known to beat up people, right? We've seen her whoop a couple of asses. She's even whooped Blueface ass before. So, just your regular citizen out in the street, they might not be that quick to want to come help or confront her or ask her a question or, just come and approach her in general. So it's unfortunate, but hey, sometimes you just kind of get what you put out. But being a deadbeat can work both ways, right? So Blueface now is in this I guess predicament to where I'm sure he probably did not necessarily want to have another child. He probably didn't want to have the child with Chrisean, because if she was just supposed to be his quote unquote artist that he was managing, I'm sure he may have a little bit of guilt now that she's surpassed him with the popularity level. He may regret the fact that he helped make her a star and he carried on this relationship with her, because they even had a show. They got a show on Zeus. I believe they've already, showed the season 1 of it, but I think it's called Crazy in Love. So he had a full blown out relationship with her, even though his baby mama was still at home. But I'm sure he kind of regretted to a certain extent now, because it's like she's gotten so huge. He sees that, hey, she's very toxic. So is he. She really doesn't have that motherly instinct about her. So there's always going to be some concerns on whether or not she's taking care of the baby. So I'm sure he has all of these thoughts that's, playing in his head, um, and don't really know maybe what to do in this sense. You know what I'm saying? So what other way to do, what other way to kind of continue, you know, continue the toxicity and keep our names out here in the streets is to, of course, get online now and say, hey, the baby ain't mine. The baby may be her ex boyfriend's. And, just kind of continue to say some dumb shit, because everything that he I've never heard one thing that came out of Blueface mouth that has really made any sense. It's like he seems to be a very manipulative person. Um and basically he found a fool in Chrisean, and he been playing her ever since. She even said that, she was giving him all her money, like she'll go do appearances for shows and things like that, and she would have to, hand her money over to him. And she just got fed up with that. Now I believe she just kind of moved into her new place, and she's trying to do everything on her own now, which I commend her for that. um but at the same time, it's like, okay, one minute you say you ain't fucking with the dude, the next minute we see y'all doing a video together. Y'all shooting music videos. So it's like, it's just so much that's going on, and us as the public viewers, we just continue to tune in, which is the craziest shit in the world. But again, the topic is about deadbeats. Deadbeats. Now, Blueface seemed to be a pretty good parent to his oldest child that I've seen on the internet. I don't know these people personally, but from what I've seen on the internet, he seems to be a pretty good father. So I really don't understand all of the hate and disdain he has for Chrisean Jr. Chrisean Jr. is going to need a positive father figure as well. He's going to need his father in his life. If he truly feels like Junior is not his son, then that's what we got, DNA tests for. He can always go take a DNA test, both of them, get swabbed up, and we see whether or not he is 100% or 99.99% the father. Hell, go on Maury. If Maury's show is still playing on TV, hey, y'all could be a special guest. I'm sure they'll give you all a check to appear on the show. But what we don't want to happen, though, Mr. Blueface, is that if the child is yours, indeed, we don't want you to be a deadbeat. Give the same level of respect, the same level of love and care for Chrisean Jr., the same way that you do with your other child. Because the last thing we need is another child out here in this world growing up who does not have a father figure in their life, a positive father figure in their life. We definitely don't want that. And from what it seems, Chrisean definitely needs all the help that she can get. Now, I believe they had posted something today where she stated that she was going to this was another part of the story too that I wanted to get into. Blueface, you're no good. I mean, things that you do is just, sometimes it's just so out of pocket. Now, what he also did was post a picture of the baby's genitalia, which has not formed yet, on social media. The picture showed that the child had a hernia, has a hernia, and I believe that will have to get surgically removed or fixed at some point. I don't know when, but everybody felt as though that was extremely disgusting for him to do, to post that picture of his own son. Chrisean was extremely distraught by that as well. Of course, she took to social media and cried and things of that nature. And she also, had this to say.
But I'm pressing charges, bro. It's our son, but you're treating it like it's my son because if it was your son, I wouldn't think that you'd post your son like that. And then you thinking like it ain't gonna get serious, bro. You're going to go to jail. I got my attorney already working on it. All I gotta do is sign it. You'll be locked up within 24 hours. Don't go to your house tonight. They're gonna be at your door looking for Blueface. Probably at your door right now. Weirdo. He get ridiculed. He say his page got hacked. He don't even know, like, you're going to jail, right? That's a little kid. You've been reported, right? You got court, right? And your probation wants you to go to jail, right? So why would you put our son life on blast like that just to fuck up your whole life for eternity? The last thing you need is trouble, cops. So you sending trouble my way to, it's just weird. Then you lying, saying I ain't missing not one doctor's appointment. Nobody's going through postpartum, bro. I live in a $3 million home. I live somewhere where I got kicked out at. way better than where I got kicked out from. Nobody's going through anything. I'm just going through the motions because bro is hating. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly he's hating on and why is he hating on his son like that so hard. I don't need no money.
Oh my God. Child. See, this is the thing with Chrisean. Everybody wants to, especially the females, and from what I can tell by looking at, some of the comments, we all want to stand for Chrisean. It's like we all have a soft spot in our hearts for her. We want her to do better. We want her to get out of this toxic situation with Blueface. We want her, now that she's had her child, we want her to be the best mom that she can be. It's so many people out here and resources that, and she even got her own family members as well who can help her, help her understand and teach her what she don't know about motherhood and, just really help her and help guide her. But it's like she would get on social media and she would say these things. Oh, I'm sending him to jail. I hate him. Blah, blah, blah. I ain't fucking with him no more. And then next thing you know, the next 24 to 48 hours, we will hear a totally different story. We'll see a photo of them hugged up or kissing, or she's saying I love. Like it's so weird. It's stupid and it's weird. And it's like the public has really gotten. We're tired of it at this point. At least as much as we all love to see a shit show right before our eyes, at least for me, it has gotten to the point where it's like, okay, now what you gonna do? Is you gonna stand on this? If you ain't messing with the dude no more, are you gonna stand on it and move on? Or what? Because as much as her and Blueface being this emotional roller coaster, shit, everybody that's watching the live and in the comments, they got us all on emotional roller coaster because we don't know what is going to happen next. But I definitely wish the best for both of them, and especially for Chrisean Jr. The girl Jaden, she's starting to put out some. He's trying to help her with her music career. I guess he say, shit, I invested all this time and effort into Chrisean, and she popped off. I might as well invest some time and money and resources into my own, high school sweetheart, his girlfriend Jayden. So we'll see how her career goes. The song that she did put out, she need to keep going, keep trying, getting better with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a mess. I mean, this whole situation is a mess. All I could do is just pray for these kids, man. That's all I can do is pray for these kids. Um, but as far as just the topic itself of deadbeats, Blueface and Chrisean, to me, I don't want to say they're a perfect example of this, but they're definitely an example of how a male and a female could be considered deadbeats. Um, Deadbeats does not always have to uh, be about finances per se. A deadbeat could be a whole attitude, a mindset. It could be someone with the lack of ambition, someone who's lazy, couch potato, who don't really want to get up and do for themselves and be self-sufficient. They don't have, these are people with no goals in life. These are people who like to smooch off other people. These are people that, like to live with you rent free or mortgage free. These the people that like to drive your cars and don't put no gas in it. You know what I'm saying? These the people who like to always come to the club with you, but they don't never have no money to put in on the bottle or the section. You know what I'm saying? A deadbeat. These are people who always want to, travel with you and have some excitement and party hard with you. However, them be the ones that don't never bring enough money when y'all travel. A deadbeat is somebody who can't keep a job. Every job they've had, they have lost the job within 4 weeks. A deadbeat is somebody who selfish, somebody who doesn't really care about anybody else. They don't care about their family. It's all about themselves. To me, that's a deadbeat. A deadbeat is somebody who come off as a know-it-all, but don't know shit. The last time they read a book was in the 5th grade. To me, that's a deadbeat. And with those, my own personal definitions of what a deadbeat is, it's awful that there is a lot of them in this world. There's a whole lot of them. And I oftentimes try to think, like, where did it start from? Because if you think about like history, right? When our ancestors were brought over to the Caribbean islands and brought over to America, and only for the sole purpose of being slaves to help the British, British Europeans, um, build up this new, this economy on this newfound land. Our ancestors, when you think of the family unit, they stuck together. Like the men were there. Of course, there were probably long days of working out in the field and doing whatever it is that they were told to do. However, there used to be a very strong family unit with the mother and the father and the kids. Everybody helped one another. It was a unified front, you know, where the other was slacking, you had the other one there to help pick up the slack. And then there used to be this huge sense of pride, you know, when slavery ended and people were, you know, beginning to take advantage of getting better educations and better jobs and things of that nature. People took pride in the way that they were able to earn a living, and they wanted better. They just wanted better. They wanted to get out of those shack homes, with one bedroom. If one bedroom, it could be a studio size shack that they used to live in, and it might be 6 people in one little old shack. But when the opportunity came for more money to be made, better opportunities for, especially I'm speaking for black folks, especially for black people, there was a huge sense of pride in being able to have a decent job, bring home a decent check, take care of your family, take care of your kids. But at some point in our history, all of that changed. I don't know if it was the crack epidemic or in the 70s. Like, I don't know what heroin. I don't really know what happened. But at some point, people got the big head, you know? And because there was probably so much access to a better life, people took advantage of it, got the big head, and they kind of thought of it as, shit, if I lose this one, I get another one. That type of thinking. You know, there was no longer a sense of struggle in their mind. Like if I lose $20 a day, hell, I can just go somewhere and make another $20. You know what I'm saying? And I think at that point, that began to switch the mindset of a lot of us to the point to where, you know, ambition and having goals and things of that nature, began to subside. And it subsided so heavily that it's now to the point where it's like people don't really even care if you call them a deadbeat. They don't care. It's like, call me whatever you want. I'll be that. So, if any of you are or have been considered deadbeats, get your life together. I want you to pick it up. However you need to do it, go to church, say a prayer, um, get a mentor, talk to your close friends and family, whatever you need to do. We do not want you to be a deadbeat in this world, especially if you do have people that you care for and take care of, whether it's elderly or your parents or children. We definitely do not need deadbeats. So if you are, if you fall in that category or have been told that, then this is my message to you. It is time to change. It's time to no longer be that. Be a better you. And again, this goes for males and females. This can apply to both sexes. It does not matter. Get it together. You hear me? So, this was going to be a pretty short episode today. I didn't want to get too long-winded with this one. But again, thank you for tuning in as always. And I'll talk to you again in the next 2 weeks, or maybe sooner than that. Who knows? But thank y'all. Peace.